I'm Jeremy Heimans. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Purpose. Well, I guess I've been an entrepreneur, a social entrepreneur, before that I even knew that term existed, and probably before that term was coined, since I was very young. So from a very young age back home in Australia, I was a precocious kid campaigning on all sorts of different political causes from the age of about 8. Used to kind of try to lobby the Prime Minister and Foreign Minister and do all sorts of crazy stuff. So funnily enough, the work I do now and the work that I did, or the kind of strange childhood that I had when I was an early adolescent, have a lot in common actually, which is that I am still working on global issues and I'm just using new tools. I love building a team. I love having people around me who are idealistic, smart, and just diverse. I think one of the things that I love about Purpose is it's an incredibly diverse place. We really celebrate that in our culture. I also love the fact that every day I get to do work that is completely kind of coherent in terms of my values. So there's no kind of dissonance between what I believe and what I think is important in the world and what I do. So that's a real privilege. I'd say probably just take it easy. I think I was actually I was a pretty hyper-motivated kid, maybe a little too motivated. You've got to be a bit more reflective and you've got to create some time for figuring out who I was as a person. And it took me a while to realize that, actually there was no rush and that there was plenty of time for me to do the stuff that I wanted to do in the world. And, actually it took me until my early 20s in some ways to figure that out. Well, I hope Purpose grows to become a home for the kind of movement entrepreneurship that we've been doing and that I've had the fortune of doing over the last several years. So a place where big, impactful social movements start, where the seeds of them begin. I think for me that provides a really fantastic framework for a whole bunch of different work that I do. Because I'm a bit of an entrepreneur, I love the ability to start new things. And so my hope is that I can be involved in starting many of these movements over the coming years, and that Purpose will give me a framework to do that. I would like to think I carry a sort of a skepticism and irreverence, not taking things too seriously. So I think in the culture that I've built at Purpose, it's a very playful, irreverent culture. There isn't, there's certainly no sense of, even though the work that we're doing is about trying to change the world and, build social movements, I think if we took that too seriously in the way we approach the work, we'd probably get really depressed because the stuff we work on is pretty serious and pretty heavy. So you've got to have that kind of Australian irreverence and the ability to make fun of each other, and that is very much a part of the culture that we've built at Purpose, which I think is very Australian.